Hello everyone and welcome to Tech Savvy Talks. My name is Tushka and I'll be your host today. Together with me I have my colleague Nedjalko Milenkov, who is a technology manager at Scalefocus, and we will be discussing very interesting topic, the future of tech bootcamps. Ned, welcome.
Thank you, Tushe.
Could you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your background and why this topic is so special to you?
Sure. So it's great to be here in the studio. I've started writing code in school. I was fascinating what you can do with just a computer, and then I graduated the Technical University in Sofia, both bachelor and master's degree in the German faculty. And then I started my IT career. So I have I would say more than 15 years in IT. I started as a developer, then continued as a team lead and so on. And then I've joined Scalefocus, and now I am a technology manager responsible for several technologies. This topic is special to me because I also teach students in the Technical University in Sofia for game development.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and I really believe in the education. I think that that's the best thing someone can invest in themselves, and that's why this topic is so special to me.
Great. Before we speak about the future of bootcamps, can we discuss what is the current landscape? We all know that during the last decade, tech bootcamps became very, very popular as an alternative to traditional education or a complementary to one. Another thing is that they provide very focused and fast tech education to students or people who want to enter tech industry. When I was entering the industry, I remember that there were, I don't know, maybe two or even one boot camp. Now there are hundreds, and some of them are very popular and really really successful. What do you think are the key factors driving this success?
And so it's very interesting question. So when I started in school to write code, I don't think there were any boot camps back then. And I think one of the reasons for the emergence of so many boot camps and opportunities is the need. So if you look at the standard education process, so you have school, you have high school, you have university. So when people enter the university, you're looking at like 4 to 6.5, 7 years that they need to go through all the courses and then graduate. And
With the master, right?
yeah, with the master.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you can graduate as bachelor for 4 years, but it's between 4 and 7 years. So that said, it takes a long time to grow a specialist, and the IT industry in the last 15 years is booming, especially in Bulgaria, but not only. And we just need people, and companies cannot wait seven years or 4 years to have these specialists. So the natural thing to do is to create a boot camp, to bootstrap this knowledge that you want other people to get and to make it faster. So I think this is one of the main reasons why there's so many and also so many successful boot camps, is that there is a need for people to gain such knowledge, and that's why these boot camps are trying to accelerate this process.
And also the accessibility, right? Just because, especially nowadays, you can basically sign on for a boot camp in the States. So this is also something really important, especially for people who are working on a full-time job and don't have time to go somewhere and spend hours a week to educate themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great opportunity for people that they have a work at the moment, they do something. Maybe they have a bachelor or master's degree in some other specialty, but they want to become IT specialists, and they can use these academies or boot camps to get this knowledge. And as you said, it's very I think accessible in a way that yes, you can be completely different location, but also it might be convenient for you because of the time frame, or you could, for example, join multiple boot camps and then get this knowledge, and you don't need to apply, you don't need to go to some exams like you go to the universities and etc.
Yeah. Something really interesting I see is that most of the people see boot camps as the quick fix, a way they can enter the tech industry. What are the most common misconceptions about boot camps, and how do you address it?
Yeah, that's very good question, and there are quite a few misconceptions regarding the boot camps. I think one of the biggest ones are that you can bypass the university. You don't need university to become a specialist. And I think that the truth is somewhere in the middle. So basically, you have like the knowledge that you get in these boot camps is very practical, and there is a reason for that, because if we go from your first question, these boot camps, most of them are created because there is a need. So for example, a company needs Java developers or .NET developers, or they need some specific technology, so they create these boot camps for that model, and then you go to that boot camp, you learn something very specific and very practical. In a university though, you have 4 years to experiment, to learn a lot of different technologies, different architectures, and then once you graduate, you have an idea of a lot of different domains. With the bootcamp, you have a little bit like a tunnel vision. So when you finish this bootcamp, you know something very specific and very practical. So one of the misconceptions is that if you finish a bootcamp, you are ready. You become an IT specialist, which is not exactly the case. You might need to go through several boot camps, or you might also need to go to university to become a specialist.
Yeah, as a hiring manager, I can also confirm that definitely people graduated from boot camps, they bring a lot of value to the table in terms of they can start right away to work on a project because they're familiar with the technology. They already have some hands-on experience, so to say. But people who graduated from universities, they have very good base knowledge, and I see more and more that these people who combine both, as you said, they have more opportunity to grow career-wise in a way.
Exactly. As I always tell my team and also my students that university education and your diploma, your degree is like a wine. So it ages with time. So when you're young, no one is gonna question you, why don't you have a bachelor degree or master's degree? Because usually the answer is, well, I'm young, I still have time. But once you start to age, like 40, 50 years, it's more difficult when you apply to a job, and for an IT job, people ask, where is your degree? And then you cannot just say, well, I didn't have time for it, because you actually had a lot of time in order to get a degree. And I have a lot of friends that actually applied to and got a degree in university when they were like 35, 40 years old. So I would say that for people that are just starting right now and they're very young, yes, go to boot camps. You can go to work, find something, get a job, but also think about your long-term goals and what you want to achieve. If you want to really develop as an IT specialist, you I would strongly recommend looking and getting a bachelor or master's degree, because one of the other misconceptions is that university should give you everything, all the knowledge. But
Not the case in IT.
exactly. And universities, I think one of their when I went to university, I was really upset in the first year, during the second year, because there were a lot of studies that I didn't like. I thought that they were like, I don't need them. Why are you learning about this? Why are you learning about that? But once I've graduated, I start to understand what actually university is giving to people. And it's like, the first thing is teach you how to learn, teach you how to find new things, teach you how to interact with peers. And one of the most important things is teach you how to finish things.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely combination of both is great, but especially in underserved geographic areas where people don't have universities, and before they didn't have boot camps, but now this accessibility is great. Another interesting topic is about the mid-level developers or senior developers who would like to upskill or reskill in a specific area. And here I'm not speaking only about tech skills, but soft skills as well, such as presentation skills, teamwork, I don't know, anything which is considered soft skills. And we all know that boot camps are considered more for entry-level trainings. Are there boot camps providing some specialized programs as part of their whole education?
I think the short answer, in my opinion, is that there aren't many. One of the reasons is that soft skills, it takes a lot of time to learn, right? It's not something that you read a book and then you gain all this knowledge, or you go through a tutorial, how to code, and you can do the same for soft skills. It takes time and practice, and it's a long-term process. Most of the boot camps have a lifespan anything between 1 month and 12 months, depending on at most, yeah. I think on average is 3 months, maybe. So there aren't many. However, there's also need for people developing their soft skills and being better engineers. One of the misconceptions is that if you are a great engineer and you know how to write code and you're good at it and you know architecture and etc., that's enough. But I think the reality is that you also need to communicate with people, right? So what's the point of having all these ideas and not be able to, push them to the client or present it to the client or make your team agree that it's the right
Yeah, exactly. We all seen those videos where what my family thinks I'm doing as a software engineer, a black screen with a script, but this is not the reality. Definitely, these people communicate a lot with different business stakeholders, and soft skills are really important. Not to like most of the developers, they say, but why I need to have good presentation skills? I don't want to sell myself. I have a project, etc. But they need to explain in a way what they've built, and especially in front of people who don't understand fully the technical stuff of things. But for them, what is most important is the business value, which is brought by the code that the developer wrote. And unfortunately, there are no many boot camps covering this gap. And in my opinion, companies should invest more and more in such programs where they speak about more their culture, what is basically their strategy to acquire new business or keep one, and at the end of the day, deliver more value to the client, just because The trend, especially during the last year, is that more and more clients are shifting their focus to low-cost locations such as India, Vietnam, to name a few, and especially with the emerging technologies such as Copilot and ChatGPT, soft skills are becoming even more important. Not sure if people read the article about our Elevate program, which is our specialized program to bridge this gap, but if you haven't yet, go there and read it.
Yeah, it's a very good program, and again, it's addressing our needs. So there aren't a lot of boot camps that are offering such, and then companies are doing internal programs to help their employees.
Yeah. Okay, let's discuss some emerging trends. In the past, boot camps were these intense in-person experiences where you can basically see how people are responding to what you are teaching them. Do they understand the topic, or they're confused, or they're sleeping on their desks? And it's really great now that people can join boot camps either hybrid or entirely online. But this is something I think which affects a lot their engagement. How do you think they can adapt in order to engage more and more people who are joining these online courses?
Yeah, I think that we're just at the beginning of such boot camps. There's a lot that can be done, and it's great to see that boot camps are experimenting with that. For sure, several years ago, most of the boot camps were in person, and that brings a lot of benefits. However, now we see that there are also a lot of benefits for a hybrid model or an online model, where, as you say, people from other locations, from other time zones, or maybe you go to work, you want to watch a recording, you cannot be able to go to that particular session. There is an option to do it now. It brings its own challenges, and I think bootcamps should continue to experiment and find new ways how to make it engaging. From my perspective, also from a perspective from as a teacher, yes, seeing people on Teams or Skype, it's hard to see and judge whether they are engaged, but you can also use other tools to make them more engaged. I imagine that in the near future you could really leverage the power of AI and have like a personal assistant that is available, or a coach that is available 24/7. So you see the lecture, then you start to make the exercise, and then if you have a question, you can ask the AI no matter what time is it, and you get some answer, and then offline you can send additional questions to the lecturer, and it could be a very good symbiosis between the offline AI that's available, always available, and then the real person that can guide you and say, hey, that's good, but you can improve this and that.
Oh, it's really challenging, especially with all these even remote work trends. It's really difficult to engage people who are at home and you don't know what they're doing. There was a research showing different percentage of people what they're doing. It's really interesting. You can go and take a look. When we speak about engagement, something interesting I've noticed is these small bite-sized videos or maybe certifications focused on specific skills. I'm a big fan of TikTok. And at TikTok, you can also see a lot of 2-3 minutes video explaining, for example, what REST is, what CQRS is, or anything basically you want to learn about. Do you think this modular approach is the way to go and the future of boot camps? If so, um, how, for example, the need for people who want to really deep dive into a topic or want to have broader knowledge about a single topic will be addressed?
So I hope it's not the future of boot camps. You know my opinion about TikTok. I think it's positive in a way that it can grab your attention and you can get interest about the topic. I don't think it's the right place where you can gain in-depth knowledge about it for a lot of reasons. Is the same with YouTube, by the way. It doesn't have to be TikTok. It could be YouTube, Facebook, or anything that has like 3 to 30 minutes videos, because I believe that there aren't shortcuts in education. If you want to get a deeper knowledge about something, you just need to spend the time. And I remember, when I was learning about how how to develop code, I was buying books. There was no YouTube, believe it or not, and it's when you have the book. First, it is you have an author, you might have a co-author, and then you have other people that verify that everything that's written in this book makes sense. Usually, to publish a book, it takes between 1 and 2 years, right? So it's a very long process. And when you buy a book, you have certain quality with it. When you go online and when you see a video that's like 3 minutes in length or 5 minutes in length, I don't think it has the same safeguards and the same thought process that with a book or with a course. And also something else that I advise my students not to fall in that trap is because I get a lot of questions like, I want to get to know Java or I want to get .NET, what should I do? And my answer is, first, like, if you can read a book. If you cannot read a book, then buy a whole course. It could be in YouTube, it could be in Udemy, Pluralsight, or any other media, but just buy the whole course. Because when you buy the whole course, it has, first of all, you're listening someone who has thought about the whole process, how it will start and how it will end. That person is also thinking in a certain way. That person is exposing some principles, some architecture, and it's consistent. When you go in YouTube and when you write, I want to become a Java developer or Java beginner tutorial, you see 30 minutes, 1 hour of something. And then you go to the next video, you see something else. It's not consistent. It's like you get a knowledge of these people that have these different architectures, different way of thinking. And if you are not senior, if you don't have any experience, you might get confused. And then when you start writing code, you can start mixing different styles and different architectures. Now, if you're a senior, there's nothing wrong, to go there, watch something for 30 minutes, refresh your knowledge, and start developing.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no shortcut, especially if you want to grow as a more senior, maybe architect role. Definitely, you should know in depth how things work, which applies also to traditional architecture of building. We discussed a couple of days ago with you that if you need to build a whole building, you cannot shortcut it and learn only some stuff which cannot help you to do so from scratch. Well, if you want to do something small, maybe experiment with changing the tiles in your bathroom. You can do that. But yeah, totally agree with you. Another thing I was thinking about is related to boot camps and the partnership with companies. We see that most of the big companies, they have their own boot camps or academies. We also have our Scalefocus Academy where we teach people different languages, Java, Golang, .NET. But some of them don't have this luxury, so to say. Um, Is there any model how boot camps and companies collaborate, not only to align their curriculum is up to date so that the people they are engaging are job ready, but also to help students find job easily?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the model is there's several models, but the main model is quite simple. So more and more bootcamps are becoming free. So basically, you can go there, you apply, and then you can go through the whole bootcamp for free. Obviously, that's not sustainable, and that's why one of the models is, as you said, there are a lot of companies that cannot create their own boot camps, but they have a desperate need for certain type of engineers. Then they go to these boot camps and they say, hey, look, we want this specific profile of people. Can you create a program for them? Study. And then the boot camp, and of course they pay money for this. And then the bootcamp creates this specific program that's tailored to that specific company, and this is how they can make it free. Another way is for bootcamp to present certain set of companies. Like, for example, we work with 10 companies or 15 companies, and after the bootcamp, because usually the teachers know the profile of every student, they can say, hey, look, we have this opportunity for you. Maybe you can apply and see how it goes. Because one of the main reasons and goals of a bootcamp is, once you finish it, to find a job. And these bootcamps are becoming like recruiter hubs where you can not only finish the bootcamp, but you're presented with opportunities and options to apply for positions for these companies, and they pay for that service. And this is how certain bootcamps are essentially free for the students.
Yeah, I've also seen models where companies they're engaging some developers from their side to go and mentor the bootcamp students, which is great just because they can see on early stage how these people are performing, be able to evaluate their soft skills again, which can help them in their hiring process. But you mentioned they're free. There are a lot of boot camps, and compared to universities, they don't have accreditation. And another interesting thing is that one way or another, for example, here in Bulgaria, we know that if someone graduated from Sofia University or Technical University, these people are familiar with these specific topics, or are lacking experience in other topics, and somehow there is credibility and trust, which is not the case with boot camps. Do you know they are I don't know, interested in a way to get accreditation because it brings a lot of bureaucracy, or they will continue to operate as they do?
So there is certainly some discussion about getting some accreditation, and like all the boot camps are fighting for the same exposure, right? Because at the end of the day, you as a student can write a Java bootcamp, and then you find 20 bootcamps. So which one are you going to choose, right? And of course, a lot of these bootcamps are trying to build a reputation. But I think one of the beauties of bootcamps is that they're not standardized. If you look at a university needs to get accreditation from the government, and especially in Bulgaria. So it's a lengthy process, and also the university needs to get approval for its curriculum and all the studies from the government, and that takes time. And this is one of the reasons why, for example, universities are slower to adopt new technologies, although there are workarounds for them, and they use them very, very in an interesting way. But if you look at the university and their study, it's very specific. It might be from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, because if they want to change something,
Yeah.
they need to sync it with the government. And boot camps, they don't. And it has pros and cons in both ways.
Yeah, and when it comes to government, it's always a double-edged sword. And this bureaucracy is something I don't want boot camps want in general. Um, Something you mentioned about the universities and that they are not very flexible in a way. I see some improvements. I know some people who are at the moment students, and they have some special classes which can be different maybe every year, and they are operated or led by local companies, which give them some flexibility to include different topics and maybe more trendy technologies or processes. So definitely there is improvement on their side as well. As for the bootcamps and their credibility, it is really challenging. From experience, I can say that it's basically really difficult to evaluate someone during interview, because they put a lot of certificates from different boot camps, and you think this person is like ready for mid-level position or more. At the end of the day, after 1 or 2 hours interview, it turned out that maybe this person hasn't gone in depth in most of the topic, which is sad.
Again, I think if you graduate from university, it doesn't guarantee you to get a job. I wouldn't say graduate, but if you finish a boot camp, it also doesn't
Yeah,
guarantee a job.
exactly. Okay, Ned, let's talk about the future. For years, we've talked about the so-called shortage of tech talent, especially with things like AI at the moment. This is a topic which is becoming more and more important. At the same time, we are hearing about a lot of layoffs, and boot camps being accessible. We see that more and more people are joining boot camps. I don't know, they hear on the news or somewhere else that after they enter the tech field, they will get a six-figure yearly salary, which is obviously not the truth, depending on the country. But it's really interesting. Is there a global tech talent shortage? Is this a hot topic at the moment? And if so, do you think that boot camps can be a part of the solution, if not the solution?
I think that there always will be a global shortage. And by the way, this question is not only relevant for IT, but if we concentrate in IT, a lot of things are becoming, smart, like Internet of Things. You go and buy a toaster, and without Wi-Fi, you cannot toast your bread. Or you buy a new car, and then it has so many cameras and microphones, and it's smart. It can drive itself, it can park itself, and etc. So a lot of industries are, digitizing, and that's a long process, and it makes sense to require a lot of IT specialists in order to do that. So at the moment, as long as I remember, in the IT industry, there has always been a shortage. And I think one of the reasons for that is you constantly get new technologies. Like, example, 7 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, the crypto boom. So it was something new. It was something fascinating. Nobody knew what it is exactly, and there was shortage of engineers that can understand it and build products. And as you say, it's the same thing is happening, with AI. So it's not something new, by the way, but right now is gaining traction, and very few people actually understand it and know how to use it. And by very few, I'm speaking of tens of thousands. So it's not like one or two people, but if you look at from global perspective, there are very few people that actually understand it. And yes, there is a shortage for such people, and boot camps can create the programs, the studies for AI, and they can re-educate people and get them up to speed with that technology. I bet in 10 years from now there will be some other technology, and there will be shortage for that technology as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely, it's not the only solution, and universities should invest in educating and introducing such topics in their programs as well.
Yeah, I think they're doing it, and I see a lot of smart ways that universities are doing at the moment. You gave one example of companies trying to allocate some time and teach to students about some new and hot topics. There are also other academies that are in very good relationships with the universities, and you can in your free time go to that academy. Some of these academies are in the university campus, so it's very convenient for students. One of the things that universities are careful, and I definitely see why, is that not every emerging and hot technology will be the next big thing, right? So they need to invest time in order to develop all the learning materials and etc., and they need to know which technology will actually develop and be the next big thing. So that's why I think they're a little bit cautious. And also something else, again, universities are teaching you how to learn and how to get information, how to extract information. So if you finish a university and you really study hard, no matter what new technology comes, you'll be prepared to know how to learn about it and get the knowledge you want.
Yeah, definitely. The core knowledge is something really important, and the most successful people I know and hired are the ones who tried from both worlds, like being at university, as you said before, at the same time joining a boot camp, which helps them find job more easily. But then when they finish university, they have the bigger picture and the basics, which is really important. One more question from my side, and I think we can wrap up for today. For anyone listening at the moment who is thinking about to join a boot camp, what these people should look for? Like, can you name the top 3 things they should look for in a boot camp, in a good boot camp?
Certainly. So first of all, as you mentioned, the best scenario for me as well is if you can, go to university, then you can fill the gaps of the new stuff that you want to learn with boot camps. But go to university, get a bachelor and master's degree, or even bachelor degree. By the way, I think that if you have a bachelor or master's degree in some other specialty, like you could be an architect or something else, you don't need to go to university to get an IT degree. You can, because you already have the knowledge on how to learn, how to make connections, and etc. So you can just go to several boot camps to get the specific knowledge in IT that you need.
Maybe it more applies to engineering education, not for every specialty. What you are saying applies.
In my experience, I've seen people from different specialties, and if they want to do it and if they invest the time, at the end they will be successful. Because again, you go to the university, and just a small bracket, so you there's a big difference how you learn in school and how you learn in university, and there is this big gap when you finish school, high school, and you go to university. You expect that the lecturers there will tell you, this is what you need to do, this is how you're gonna do it, like A, B, C, D. But university is just telling you, okay, these are the topics, this is what we want to achieve at the end, these are some of the materials that you need to learn, and then everything else you should do. Like if you have questions, you should ask. If you want to read more, here's the library, or here are the resources. You can ask your peers, you can ask the university members, faculty members, for additional information. So this is what a university, no matter what university, whether it's in IT or some other area, will give it to you. And if you have this knowledge and skills, it will take you for sure more time, to bootstrap your career in IT, but eventually you will become a good specialist. So
Okay, this is number one.
yeah. Well, number two is define what you want to do in the next 1 or 2 years. So I guess maybe you want to be an engineer. Then choose a technology that you find interesting. You can read about different technologies. There are a lot of podcasts about different technologies, right?
Yeah.
So I know you're a fan of Java, but there are also different technologies out there. But people can learn and can study and can see which technology makes sense for them and get them excited. Then go online, find academies, find boot camps, and look at their program, what they're gonna teach you, and try to find something that will get you to the basics. And here is a very important thing. You need to know at what level you wanna apply for a bootcamp. So if you're someone who doesn't have any experience in IT, then you need to look for a bootcamp that really explains the basics, like structure, loops, memory management, and etc. And then you can build upon that. If you have this general knowledge, or maybe you're coming from the university, then you can look for more advanced course that will give you very specific details, for example, like how to write code in Java or .NET and etc.
Yeah, definitely people should take a closer look at the curriculum, just because there are boot camps which are somehow preparing people for the job, and speaking more about maybe frameworks and not about the basics of the language or data structure or databases, etc. And they rely that these people already learn these things somewhere, high school, university, whatever. But definitely this is something really important. Third thing.
Yeah, a third thing is make sure that this academy works for you in a way that you can go to the lectures, or if you cannot, there is an online version of it, or if the hours are not good for you, that there is an offline option to look at them at a later time. Because just applying for an academy, for a bootcamp, doesn't mean that you're gonna successfully finish it and that you get the knowledge. In order to get the knowledge, you need to work hard and to spend time. So I think the third advice is make sure that you find something that you can fit in your schedule and that it has the flexibility and gets you excited. Because if you're gonna learn something just because you have to, and you need to spend that extra time, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, from my side, what I can add is, well, we know that there are a lot of courses, videos where you can learn things from scratch. Like on Udemy, there are courses which are 50 hours long or so. But what Bootcamp can give you on top is maybe collaboration with new people, if they have simulations, people working on projects, so that you build other skills on top of the technical ones, because they are really, really important. And it said that most of the people thinks that tech job is only sitting on your computer writing code. It requires a lot of communication with other people, and soft skills are important as well.
Exactly.
Net, anything else you want to share with the audience? I forgot or didn't ask you.
So there are a lot of things that we can discuss, and I think, if you guys like the podcast, just hit that thumbs button, up, hit that likes, and we promise if we get 100 likes, there will be follow-up, or maybe 1,000 likes. Episode 2. So 1,000 likes, 1,000 likes, and we'll get an episode 2.
Deal.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, everyone.